Okay, fifth grade, we're back again just to show you the rest of the optical illusions that I would be working with this week. So we're going to do this one, practicing, right, and we're going to practice this one as well. So let's start with this one since it's a little easier. I'm going to zoom in again. So this is for week 1, so you can choose any of these optical illusions for your 3 pieces of final copy paper. So let's zoom in a little more. Okay, so I'm going to do it down here. So again, I'm going to need thick and thin Sharpie for this one. I'm going to start with a thick Sharpie, and I need to create these little dots. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rows of them. So I'm going to start actually in the second row, and I'm just going to come down a little bit, one on the edge, and then give it a space. There's 2, there's 3, and there's 4. There's going to be 4 dots in each row that you create. So there's 1. So now as I move on to my second row, I don't want to draw a dot right underneath. I want to draw it in between. So think of these two as like reaching a point, and that's where my other dot is going to be. So it's also what we call windows if you do dance or cheer. So this one is poking right through the window. So again, we're going to do the same thing. So now we're going to follow the first row on our third row. So then I put one in the middle right here, one in the middle right here, and then one in the middle right here. So I have 3 rows. Now let's do our next row. So again, we're following the second row now. And I don't have enough room to do it on my last row, but I can come back and do it on the top row. Okay, and so that's the start of it, right? So I have all of these dots. The next thing I want to do is take my thin Sharpie, and we're going to start to create these, what I like to call petals, because they look like petals on a flower. And so the way we do this is we're going to go diagonally from this point. So our second row, we're going to start and go diagonally up, and then we'll take it from this point and go diagonally down. And we'll just kind of do this zigzag pattern until we get to the end, okay? So let's start diagonal. Right, I don't want to block your view. There we go. Diagonal going up. So there's a petal. Then diagonal going down. And then back up. And down. Up. Down. Up. And there you go. And so then we're going to do the same thing from this dot going down and then up. So let's do that. So come down, right, and then we're going to go up, then back down. Sorry, I'm trying to do this so I don't block your view. Then down, back up, and down. And then, so we've got 2 sections, right? And the closer you make your dots, the smaller your petals are going to be. So mine are kind of spread pretty far, but you can make them closer if you'd like to. So again, we're going to start from this point, coming up, then bringing it down. And then our bottom is going to disappear as if there was points down here. So and there you go. That's the first optical illusion. Then you can take a thick Sharpie and outline your edge. You're done. So now let's go to the second one. So I'm going to scoot this down, take this one off, and we're going to be focusing on this one, which I know a lot of us wanted to work on, right? So we're going to start first by making squares until we get to the center of our paper, okay? So like I said, you can use a book or a folder if you don't have a ruler. I've been doing this a very long time, so my lines tend to be pretty straight, but if you know that you're not going to draw very straight lines, then I would say use a ruler. Okay, so now our next step, we are actually going to take the Post-it that we have and use the edge as a guide, because the Post-it, you can still see your line work through it, which makes it super awesome. So what we're going to do is start in this corner first. We're going to, from where that corner of the smallest box is, we're actually going to go a little on the side of it and just use the sticky side to keep your Post-it from lifting. And then we're going to draw a line with every other box. So I'm not going to draw anything in my center box. Instead, I'm going to go to the next section and draw a little line. Then I'm going to skip the next section that comes up and draw a line on the third one. Skip the fourth one, draw it on the fifth one. Skip the sixth one, draw it on the seventh one. Skip the eighth one and draw it on my last box on the edge. So I have a nice straight line. Now I want to do the same thing on the other side, so I'm going to switch my Post-it, still using the sticky side to hold it down. And now I have kind of like a road leading up to my box. So again, I'm just going to follow the same lines that I drew on. So first, third, fifth, seventh, and my ninth. And now I have a nice little pathway, and that's what I'm going to end up coloring in. But I'm going to keep drawing all my lines so I know which boxes to color in and which not to. So I'm going to rotate my paper just so that it's easier for me. And I'm going to do the same thing. Okay. So then we're going to start first, third, fifth, seventh, and ninth. And do the same thing on the other side. You want to keep your little sections pretty skinny because they kind of get a little cluttered in the center of our paper, so we don't want that. Okay, and switch. So again, I'm starting from the same corner every time just to make it easier on myself. So again, corner. And I'm going to do the first line, the third line, the fifth line, the seventh line, and the ninth line. And same thing on the other side. Stick it down. First, third, fifth, seventh, ninth. And my last section, which is this one right here, same thing, using the sticky side. Draw a diagonal line. First, third, fifth, seventh, ninth, and same thing on this side, first, third, fifth, seventh, and ninth. And now I can fill in my sections. So I finish with my thin Sharpie. I'm going to take my thick Sharpie, and now I'm going to start to fill in those sections. So I want to start closest to my box. My box in the middle is not going to be filled in. It's going to remain white, but the section that I drew around it is going to be filled in. Now we're going to skip that second section, that second box, because we want it to be blank, and we're going to move on to the third box. Same thing, coloring the inside. So now I'm going to keep coloring until I finish the entire road that I've created. So there we go. Now we have 4 optical illusions that we've created. Remember, you can choose any one of these 4 to draw on your final pieces of paper. I do need 3 of them, so if you really like this one and you want to do that on all 3, that's totally fine. Or if you want to choose 3 different ones, or maybe 2 of the same one and then 1 extra one, it's up to you. I know these are only 4 of the 15 designs that I showed you last week, but these are the 4 we're going to be working on this week. If you choose to look at the link that I posted of the other Zentangles that the man was showing us during class, you can totally try and figure out one of those, but these are the 4 I'm going to be working with this week, and you need to complete 3 of your squares. Take a picture and upload it to Google Classroom. If you have any questions, please email me or comment on the Google forum. I can't wait to see you guys back in art class again, and I'll be posting a new video next week. Thanks, and have a great rest of your week.